Pedro stands before you on this beautiful sunny day, July 6th at UCLA in Los Angeles, California. It's a beautiful sunny day, as it usually is. And he's about to introduce himself. Begin.
Well, my name is Pedro Perez Cuesta. I'm a 21-year-old student, law student from Barcelona, Spain. And I'm just going to tell you 3 stories about me that I really think it's will really, it will help to you to know me better. So first of all, as I said earlier, I'm a law student in Spain. And when I was 18, I had, like most of all of you do, I had to choose a degree to study. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do or where I wanted to study at, but after a lot of research and looking into universities, which were the best ones and not so good ones, I realized I wanted to go to ESADE. ESADE is like the second or first best law school in Spain. I knew at first it was to be really hard and it was really challenging, but I wanted to go there because I wanted to prove myself and everyone that I was able to get through it and really get a good education. So I went there with a lot of energy, passion, but I soon realized it wasn't my place. I soon realized it was very hard and it was going to be so much more work than I thought. But I went to it and really studied hard during my first year, but results didn't come. I failed half of my classes and I had a really bad first year, but after September I had the opportunity to take again the classes and managed to pass half of them. So I went to the second year with some courses also of the first year, and September came again and I thought, come on, this is gonna really be my year. I'm really gonna improve my grades and I just need to work harder. But time passed and as I worked harder, results again just didn't come to me. So just at this stage, I was really sad and really depressed, really down, because I was putting so much effort, but it wasn't paying off. So at this point, a friend of mine came to me and said, Pedro, we have to speak, just meet me at the bar at 6 o'clock. So there I went, and this friend of mine, Paulo, he just gave me this great speech. He just said to me, Pedro, I'm really sad to just seeing you how you're such a good guy, you work so hard, but it doesn't work out for you. And what I think is that you don't want to become a lawyer. And you know that inside you already know that. Why don't you just follow your passion, what you really want to become, and that way, results will eventually come. So I went home, I thought about it, and I said, okay, he's right. I don't want to become a lawyer. I'm not interested in law at all. I don't like it. So why don't I follow my dreams? So I went home and I talked to my parents and said, Dad, man, I want to go out of ESADE. I don't want to be here anymore. And for them, that was really surprising because that his son is going to leave the best university in Spain. It wasn't such a good idea, but they know me. They knew I wasn't good enough. I wasn't having good times, and they say, okay, you just do what you need to do. So I looked at other universities, ones that were not, they didn't demand me so much time, so I could do the things I like. And that's when I found my current university. So I went there and changed my university, and I changed the classes I had to do for the ones that I really had passion about, the ones I really liked. So I went to the debating team, I went to public speaking classes, and I went to political science classes, and I just enjoyed my time there, and results eventually came, and I became in between the top 5 of my university mates. So this is the first story that directly links with my second one. The second one, as I already introduced before, I'm in my university debating team. And in my second year now, I became the captain of the debating team. In Spain, we don't have this much tradition of debating and debating competitions. So there's only just this one big event in Madrid, once a year, it's held in February, and every university that has a debating team just goes there. So we signed up in September and really worked really hard with our arguments, practicing our stance and everything. So 1 or 2 weeks before the competition, my dean calls me and says, Pedro, come to my office please, we need to talk about the debating competition, something's come out. So I just went there and, I was really nervous because when the dean calls you, it's never something good, it's always something bad. So I just went there and he said, Pedro, sit down. And he said to me, well, your debating captain, your debating teacher, the one that prepared us, has had a car accident. It's nothing serious, he's okay. But he's got injuries in his leg and his neck, so he won't be able to take you to Madrid. And I was like, wow, that's really bad news because we've worked so hard for this and we weren't able to go. And the dean said, but he's proposed you as the captain team, the one to lead your team to Madrid, to check the hotels, to gather together everyone, to put the strategy of how the debating match was going to go. So it's an important role in a debating team, and I was really, really proud of myself. After 2 bad years, this was a very good moment for me. And so we just went to the competition, and when we were there, we passed the first round. We had a very good first round, and our second match debate was against the current championships of the tournament. So my team was really, oh, that's it. We just let's go and party the night before because either way we're out of the competition. Just don't care about it. So I said, no, come on, we need to do a good debate, and if we work hard, it will eventually pay off. So we went there the night before. We really checked out our arguments. We changed the whole stage of our debate, and we arrived to the debate. But suddenly we lost. It was a very close debate and we lost. But the good thing about it is that everyone said to us wow, you lost it, and I think the other team won, but you really did a good debate. I mean, you have a unique style, you have a unique way of performing that anyone has, and that's the really important thing to achieve, having a known style. So at this point, this was very significant for me because it was the event that really changed the ways things were going. And directly links to my third story. I have a hidden dream that not many people know about it, and it's that I want to be a politician. My ultimate dream is to be the Spanish president, and I'm working towards it. And one of the things I've done is, in the political context in Spain, just a very brief introduction, we traditionally have 2 parties that have ruled the country since we have democracy in 1928. And they've been changing powers one another. But now, in this context, 2 new parties have risen up. And I sign up in one of these parties because I really think, they have new ideas and a new way to look into politics, and they are the right way to change things. So I sign up to this party. And the best day for me was the day I met with Albert Rivera, is the president of the party, and just to let you know, he's the most valued politician now in Spain. So I got the opportunity to meet him along with maybe 15 people, and we just talked to one another, and he said to me after a bit of talking, I told him I was studying law and I was in the debating team, etc. And he said you look like a very bright young man, I think you have good opportunities, you have a bright future in front of you, so just keep working hard and learning things. So, I think the 3 stories I've told you, it's to let you know how things have changed for me and how it can change for everyone if we just have the courage to do the things we want to do. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Okay, great. What did you like? Stand up, say your name.
My name is Sienna. I liked how he
What's your name?
Sienna.
Hi, Sienna.
Hi. I liked how he clearly laid out what he was going to tell us, and then told us, and then told us again what the significance.
What it meant. Okay, thank you, Sienna. Improvement. Yeah, we're going along the road. Yeah, we do the same pattern every day. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Elliot.
Hi, Elliot.
With the same note, I noticed. I know it's a impromptu speech, but at the same time, I didn't really notice that structure. I noticed you said I'm going to tell you 3 stories, and without any details of, I'm going to tell you 3 stories about my college days, my debate team, and my future political goals, and you didn't really have that tie back at the very end, which I clearly had to work on myself.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, yeah. Pedro, if you're going to be a politician, start collecting a group of jokes and stories and things that you can always start a speech out, so you have a collection of those things that will be available to you, so you can warm the crowd up with things and that sort of thing. You're a very good storyteller. You went, 9 minutes, and that was good. It was, plenty of details, and so that was good. You first told us the story of you failing out of law school and not liking it and trying hard, but it just wasn't a good fit for you. And your friend finally telling you this just wasn't right. And you telling your parents, and then you made the change. And then you gave us kind of a happy ending where you found the passion, you joined the debating team. I guess I'm head of the debating team here. You didn't know that? Yeah. I've been the head of the debating team 38 years. And do you debate in English or in...
No, in Spanish.
In Spanish, yeah. We have a Spanish tournament in Miami every February. You might want to try to go to that. Or even come to the English Worlds, because you speak good English, or come to our national tournament in Atlanta in April. Then you told us about your university debating and your sponsor having a car accident. That was a good story. And how it went well, and how your partner wanted to party and give it up, but you said, let's try, and you finessed your arguments, and that was good detail, and we got that. And that was a good story. A little moral at the end of, you got something out of that, and they said even though you lost, you still had promise. And then you shared with us that you have high ambitions to lead Spain. What's the name of the party that you didn't tell us that?
Ciudadanos.
What?
Ciudadanos.
Ciudadanos?
Ciudadanos. It means like citizens.
6 citizens?
Citizens.
Citizens. Oh, I see.
What?
Ciudadanos.
Ciudadanos. It means citizens. Okay, great. And this is an up-and-coming party, right, in Spain? I see. And the head politician thought you had promise, and this gave you hope. And as Elliot said, you still want to learn the structure of, so in summary, I told you 3 stories and have some sort of tie back to your introduction. Always have a redundancy built into your storytelling. But you introduced yourself, we got to know you better, so you did a good job. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Guys, it's your turn.
Does law school start earlier in Spain?
What, sorry?
So you were like pre-law? You mean like when you were starting?
No, because in Spain I think like it's very different from here. I mean, we have like the school, then we have like 2 years of bachiller, and then you go to university for 5 years, and then
Law
that's
school?
it. Yeah.
What do we do? We do 4 years of college.
4 years of college and then 3 years of
3 years
law.
of law school. In 5 years, that's crazy.
They go into their master's programs earlier, that's
Yeah.
in most non-US places.
So what is it? What do they call it?
Let me get you. Could you take a step forward, Deanna? Let me get you in focus. There you go, yeah. Are you going to go stand over there near the table, please? Deanna stands before you on July 6th, a beautiful day in Los Angeles, managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally, saying her mantra to herself, I respect my audience, really meaning it, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center, feet a little wider apart. Say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, my name is Deanna Dela Cruz.
Hi, Deanna.
Hi. So I'm going to introduce today my study buddy, Cynthia Ortiz. And so it begins. Okay. Someone once said, believe in yourself and in your dreams. You need to maintain confidence and conviction that you can achieve what you want. This holds true to many things in life, especially when we go after our own goals. How can you possibly expect to achieve your dreams if you don't have confidence or faith in yourself? Yet this is much easier. This is easier said than done. However, I feel like today I have met someone who is the embodiment of this quote, and that is my study buddy, Cynthia Ortiz. She is very brave and courageous and has never let difficult circumstances stop her from going after her goals or her dreams. Today I would like to introduce you to Cynthia Ortiz, and I'm sure you would love to meet her because she is courageous and brave, and she has never let adversity bring her down. I will tell you 3 stories, her past, present, and future, that show how brave and courageous she is. So her past story is that Cynthia Ortiz Fernandez was born in Michoacan, Mexico, and she moved to California 2 weeks before her 9th birthday. She had to leave her friends, her family, her neighborhood, and most of all, her home. She moved to a city near Bakersfield, known as La Monte, California. And La Monte, California is known to have a high Hispanic population, but despite having a high Hispanic population, Cynthia did not feel like it was home. It was actually very far from home. She hated it for many reasons, but the 2 main reasons are, 1, she didn't understand or speak English, so it was very hard for her to understand school and the subjects she was being taught, especially math and science. Secondly, she didn't like it because she was bullied constantly because she had an accent when she tried to speak English, which made her more conscious of her accent and stopped her from actually even trying to speak or participate in class. However, one day her mother told her, Cynthia, you need to believe in yourself and focus on yourself and not on others. She told her, don't tell everyone that you're going to prove them wrong. Prove it to yourself. So Cynthia did this, and by having faith in her abilities, she was able to overcome her fear of speaking English, and she was actually able to learn English. That in 8th grade, she was able to say the graduation speech for her middle school. But what happened is at her school, because it's a high Hispanic population, there's a speech in Spanish and there's a speech in English. So she had to translate it from English to Spanish, and she was able to do that. Because she was able to learn English and understand it, she was able to better grasp the concepts of science and math, which allowed her to discover her true passion, which was the health field. And that made her decide to pursue a career in nursing. So she discovered this more, and her passion grew in high school when she joined the Health Careers Academy, which is an organization that allows you to go to blood drives throughout the city and visit colleges that are centered around medicine. And so by overcoming her past obstacles, she was able to achieve and focus on her dreams for the future. And that is through her present. She is an incoming 4th-year psycho-bio major here at UCLA, and she is in many school organizations that center around healthcare and the health field. She has a really great and supporting family that is able to be there for her and support her dreams just as much as she supports them herself. However, in her sophomore year, her grandmother died of cancer in Mexico. This was very hard for Cynthia because she was one of the women in her life who believed in her goals just as much as Cynthia did. And so this made Cynthia, it didn't make her freeze or anything, it made Cynthia even more strong and achieve her dreams even more. She didn't let her grandmother's death paralyze her or scare her. Instead, it made her keep going. However, another incident happened, and it was her grandmother grandfather, after her grandmother's death, got terribly ill because he wasn't able to take care of himself because his wife wasn't there to help him anymore. And so that was also very hard for Cynthia because she wished that she could be there with her grandpa in Mexico. She wasn't able to. However, now he's fine, which is good. And then now Cynthia's goals are even more reinvigorated. Her fire for her goals and her dreams keep going, and that is through her future. She wants to become a nurse for many reasons, and they're all seen from her past and her present. In her past, she would like to become a nurse that focuses on low-income families, and she would like to teach people English who cannot speak English, and she would like to help those who are minorities. And then in her present, she wants to be able to be a nurse even more because after her grandmother died, she wanted to be able to tell and understand what was going on with her grandma. She wants to advocate for people who are really ill and do not have the freedom or the time, the opportunity to speak for themselves because of sickness. And that is why she wants to be a nurse. To summarize, I have told you 3 stories about Cynthia's past, present, and future that show how brave Cynthia is and courageous she is. It shows that Cynthia never lets adversity bring her down, and she's always committed to her dreams and goals and believes in herself. She is the embodiment of the quote. She believes in herself and her dreams. She is confident in her convictions and her goals and will never let them bring her down. She is my study buddy, Cynthia.
Thank you, Deanna. Okay, we're over here now. Yes, please.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Just like this time. I love your speech.
Say your name, please.
Oh, hello, I'm Christina.
Hi, Christina.
I loved it. It was very good. And let's see. Oh, I'm doing the good. I always think of the bad because I just call it the bad. That's good.
Bad Christina.
I loved it because it was very, you did all the parts and you remembered to, say past, present, future and keep going back to that and reminding everybody of each part. And I loved the quote in the beginning too. It was really good.
She tied back to it well,
Yeah,
effectively.
very good.
Yeah. Improvement?
Hi, my name is Isaac. I think you could improve in not stalling when you want to think about what you want to say next. So like not just like, and then
Yeah, there was a certain pause and that you were trying to bring up the thought. Yeah, I liked your speech. You mastered the pattern of organization, which I'm pleased about, which was one of my goals as a professor for this speech. I wanted you to get the 7-part pattern down because it's going to serve you well. We use it for the rest of our speeches. So now you have it, and it's yours. So that's nice. I don't really like speeches that start with someone said. This is it. So find out who said it, or quote an author or a poet or somebody said it. It's sort of like I heard it through the grapevine or my mother said or something, But in any case, it was a nice quote and you tied back to this. Although I must say, when you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, you'll see it was kind of hard to see where the quote ended and where you were picking up the transition into your speech. You were a little hesitant about where you were going with the thesis preview, significant statement, but you finally got it all in, and I was pleased. You finally got the thesis preview in, so that was fine. I want you were stuck there on the ground, and you're not in the power stance now, so stay in the power stance. You were stuck there right in the middle. So I want you to show me that you can walk. So show me you can walk now. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3 back to center. And always cheating forward to face your audience. And practice walking when you're speaking at home and with a live audience, so you'll do it naturally here in the room, okay? You told us your first story was that she came here from Mexico, and to La Monte, not to be confused with El Monte, and she hated it because even though it had a high Hispanic population, she was bullied and no one liked her accent and spoke Spanish, and she had a hard time of it throughout the 6th grade. But her mother finally said, and this is something, by the way, that some people, it's interesting, deal with bullying differently. Some people, it toughens them up and they go, okay, I'm not going to take this anymore, and I'm going to react, and I'm going to fight back, and I'm going to get tough and go with it. Other people just, crumble under it. It's an interesting thing about bullying. But anyway, her mother gave her a pep talk, which apparently made the difference. And she turned her around and motivated her to do well. So well that she was the graduation speaker. She discovered science. She entered the Health Careers Academy in high school. These were good stories for her past. What I didn't get strongly from you was a strong verbal narrative. Now that I've told you about her past, let's go to her present. You just kind of went, by overcoming the obstacle, Cynthia is now, and you buried the now in the middle of the sentence. So your transition was, she's a 4th year psychobio major, you tell us. And then you told us the story of her grandmother passing away and her grandfather not being able to take care of herself, but that didn't get her down, but she carried on. That was a pretty good story. And then you needed to stress in the future, so we know really where you are. More stress with your voice, of the narrative voice. You told us of her goals, and it was more of a laundry list than a story, really, but it was okay. Summary, conclusion, tie back were excellent. Very well done. Now, your CANIs, constant, never-ending improvement, they were to have a dynamic voice, to have something unexpected in your speech. She's reading the sticky text. And be more comfortable. How'd it go?
I think it went kind of well. The dynamics thing I need to work on.
Yeah.
And then kind of being more comfortable.
Yeah. And what was unexpected?
I feel like the unexpected was Cynthia's grandmother dying. And then her grandfather getting sick at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was unexpected. Really, it's not uncommon for a spouse to pass away and then the other spouse to go pretty quickly afterwards for a variety of reasons. They just don't want to go on living without their spouse. I see this a lot. Doctors see it a lot, too. A recent lawyer friend of mine told me that a woman came to him and said, I want to do my will now. Her husband had just died a year earlier, and she just wanted to chuck it all, and, she was gone a year later. I don't know. In any case, work on dynamism of your voice and vocal variety and filling the room with your energy. It was better today, but you can do even more with that, okay? But overall, you did a nice job. Thank you. I think we're going to have to change the battery because it looks like we're on reserve. So give me a moment to change the battery. Which one should I use?
Do you mind more?